I never thought I'd be sharing this, but here goes. I'm Amelia, 32, and I work in tech. My family, well, it's complicated. Sarah, my older sister, is the golden child, always has been. I'm the one who moved away, built a career, did my own thing. But I still send money home. A lot of it. I just discovered something that turned my family upside down. How could they? I drove up to mom and dad's for a surprise weekend. I figured they'd be happy to see me. I was wrong. Looking for an old photo for a project, I went to the family photo wall, the one plastered with smiling faces from every stage of our lives. Except, mine were gone, every single one. My stomach dropped to my knees as I spotted a trash bag tucked in the corner. Inside, photos of me. Ripped, scribbled on, some even burned at the edges. A cold wave washed over me. "You're making a big deal out of nothing," Mom said when I confronted her. "You're never around anyway. This isn't about you, Amelia. You need to think about what's best for the family." My hands trembled so badly I had to set my phone down. Best for the family? After everything I've done for them. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. This wasn't new, was it? It was just more blatant now. I called Mom. "The photos," I started, my voice shaking. "Why?" A sigh. "Amelia, really, why are you bringing this up now? So dramatic." "Dramatic? Mom, they were in the trash." My heart pounded like a drum against my ribs. "Oh, please, they were old, faded. You haven't been around in ages. It's not like you belong here anymore." Dad picked up the extension. Now, girls, stay out of it, Harold," Mom snapped. To me, she said, "You chose this life, Amelia. Don't expect us to celebrate it." "Celebrate? I send you money every month. I help with the bills." "We're family," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "We should support each other. Everyone has problems. You're not special. Besides, Sarah needs more help right now." My throat closed up, words trapped inside. Sarah always needed more. My face burned with humiliation. Was I imagining things? Was I really making a big deal out of nothing? No, this was wrong, so wrong. I don't understand," I stammered. "What's not to understand? You left, you made your bed." The line went dead. I stared at my phone. Numb, maybe she was right, maybe I didn't belong, but a tiny spark flickered within me. This wasn't about belonging, it was about basic human decency. A week later, a barrage of texts. "Dinner Sunday. 6 o'clock, don't be late." From Mom. "No, please, no, hope you're doing well. Just an order." Why was I still putting up with this? I scrolled through old photos on my phone, pictures from college, backpacking through Europe, my first apartment. A life I'd built brick by brick. A life they clearly resented. "Your sister is bringing David. He's doing so well, you'd be proud to know him." Another text. A dig. "Sarah's perfect fiancé, a doctor. A life I was supposed to want." I sighed, a tension headache already forming. Sunday arrived like a looming storm. I drove to my parents' house, my stomach churning. As soon as I stepped inside, Mom was on me. "Amelia, you look tired. Are you eating enough? You're too thin." Passive-aggressive as always, I forced a smile. "I'm fine, Mom." Sarah enveloped me in a hug, a little too tight. "It's so good to see you, Amelia. It feels like forever." David shook my hand, his grip firm. "So you're the tech wizard. Sarah's told me all about you." He smiled, but his eyes held a flicker of something I couldn't quite place. The evening dragged on, a relentless barrage of thinly veiled criticisms and comparisons. "Sarah's planning a beautiful wedding," Mom gushed. "A proper family celebration. Are you dating anyone, Amelia? It's time to settle down." "Remember when you used to play the piano, Amelia?" Dad chimed in, trying to lighten the mood. "You were so good, why did you stop?" "Because I needed to work, Dad. Because no one offered to pay for lessons after high school." "Oh, Amelia's too busy with her fancy job," Mom interjected. "She doesn't have time for family." The resentment hung in the air, thick and suffocating. A flashback hit me. Christmas, years ago. I bought everyone expensive gifts, only to receive a generic scarf from my parents. "We figured you wouldn't use anything specific," Mom had said. The message was always the same. I was an afterthought. Later, as dessert was being served, Mom turned to me, her voice saccharine. "Amelia, dear, we're thinking of redoing the kitchen. It's getting so old. You know how expensive things are these days. Sarah and David are saving for the wedding, so—" Her voice trailed off, leaving the unspoken request hanging in the air. A wave of nausea washed over me. I felt trapped, suffocated by their expectations. "I'm sorry, Mom," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "I can't right now. I'm saving for something myself." Her smile faltered. "Oh, and what could be more important than your family?" I stood up. "I have to go," I said, grabbing my purse. "But dessert," Mom protested. "You just got here." "I have an early meeting," I lied. "Thanks for dinner." I walked out, ignoring their protests, a small victory blooming in my chest. It wasn't much, but it was a start. "Chloe, can I talk to you?" I asked, my voice tight. We were at her apartment, wine glasses in hand, the city lights twinkling outside. She looked at me, concern etched on her face. "Of course, Ames, what's wrong? You seem off." I hesitated, swirling the wine in my glass. "It's my family again." "Okay," she said softly, placing her hand on mine. "Tell me about it." I took a deep breath. "I went to visit them last weekend. I don't know what I thought, that maybe things would be different." I swallowed hard. "They weren't." Chloe waited patiently. "I found all the photos of me in a trash bag. Some of them were destroyed." Chloe's eyes widened. "What, Amelia, that's actually not normal family behavior. Mom said I didn't belong anymore because I'm never around." The words tumbled out, raw and painful. "And when I mentioned the money I send, she said it's just what family does." "Wait, back up. They threw out your photos, and guilt tripped you about money after you send them so much." Chloe's voice rose with each sentence. "Amelia, you realize that's manipulative, right?" I shrugged, avoiding her gaze. "Maybe I'm overreacting." "No, you're not. How much do you send them exactly?" "It's substantial, enough to significantly ease their financial burden." Chloe stared at me. "And they treat you like this. If anyone else treated you that way, would you accept it?" "No," I admitted quietly. "Exactly. You deserve to be treated with basic respect, Amelia. You deserve to be valued, not used." I felt a strange mix of relief and disbelief wash over me. Relief that someone finally saw it, and disbelief that it had taken me so long to see it myself. Chloe continued, "They're making you feel guilty for having a life outside of them, for being successful, for not needing them. But you do need them, Amelia. You need their love and support. And they're not giving it to you." A tear escaped and traced a path down my cheek. I want them to be proud of me." "They should be proud of you. You've built an amazing life. You're kind, generous, and incredibly strong. Their inability to see that is their problem, not yours." I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the genuine concern in her eyes. "It's conditional, isn't it, their love?" "It sounds like it, Ames. And conditional love isn't love at all. It's control." The realization hit me like a tidal wave. I'd spent my entire life trying to earn their approval, sacrificing my own happiness in the process. And for what? To be treated like an inconvenience, a burden. A new feeling started to bubble up inside me. Anger. Not the simmering, self-directed anger I was used to, but a righteous anger, directed at the people who had consistently undermined me. "I can't keep doing this," I said, my voice stronger now. "I can't keep letting them treat me this way." "Then don't," Chloe said firmly. "You have the power to change things, Amelia. You always have." In that moment, something shifted inside me. The fog of guilt and self-doubt began to dissipate, replaced by a growing clarity. I wasn't the problem. Their behavior was the problem, and I didn't have to accept it anymore. "Thank you, Chloe," I said, a genuine smile finally gracing my lips. I needed to hear that. The family reunion text flashed through my mind, and I knew exactly what I had to do. Then came the text. "Mom, family reunion next month, big barbecue, a chance for a fresh start. Don't be stubborn." Fresh start, after everything, my blood ran cold. Then Sarah called. "Amelia, Mom's really hurt you're not RSVPing. She thinks you're still angry. Don't you want to put this behind us? Put it behind us." As if I was the one who threw my photos in the trash. As if I was the one constantly criticizing and demeaning. I felt a familiar wave of guilt wash over me. But then, another text from my Aunt Carol, Mom's sister. "Your mother says you're being difficult and refusing to come to the reunion. She says you're holding onto bitterness. Sweetheart, don't let family feuds fester. Come for your father." Lies, all lies. She was twisting the narrative, painting herself as the victim. A red-hot fury flared within me. Something snapped. My hands clenched into fists. My breath came in ragged gasps. The years of suppressed anger, the constant invalidation, the blatant manipulation, it all coalesced into a single, searing point of rage. A cold calmness settled over me, replacing the anxiety. My shoulders straightened. My voice, when I spoke, was low and steady. Internally, a volcano roared. Externally, a glacial calm. I wouldn't play this game anymore. I wouldn't be their scapegoat, their punching bag, their ATM. I would expose them. I would show everyone the truth. No more lies, no more secrets. I am done. The decision solidified into a plan. Operation Truth Bomb, as Chloe jokingly dubbed it. But jokes aside, this was serious. I started methodically. First, evidence. Screenshots of Mom's manipulative texts, copies of emails where I detailed financial contributions, bank statements proving the transfers. I even found old photos I'd scanned before digital copies of the ones they destroyed. Then, the letter I wrote when I moved out, the one pouring my heart out about needing space to grow, the one they dismissed as teenage rebellion. Each piece felt heavy, a brick in the wall I was building against them. I called my bank, requesting copies of every transfer slip to my parents in the last 5 years. My head throbbed. What if they deny it all? What if everyone sides with them? Chloe arrived, armed with takeout and a steely gaze. "How's the war room looking?" "A mess," I admitted, gesturing to the piles of documents. "I'm starting to doubt myself. Maybe I am overreacting." Chloe scoffed. "Don't you dare back down now. Remember what we talked about. This isn't about revenge, it's about self-preservation. You need to protect yourself." She placed a hand on my shoulder. "Have you thought about what you're going to say, or rather not say?" I shook my head. "I'm not saying anything. I'm letting the evidence speak for itself. I'm sending everything to everyone invited to the reunion." "Smart," Chloe nodded. "Let them sort it out, but be prepared for the fallout. They'll try to gaslight you, deny everything, maybe even turn other family members against you." I took a deep breath. "I know, I've been practicing responses in my head. That's not how I remember it. I have the documents to prove it." Short, direct, no emotion. "Good," Chloe said. "And remember, this isn't about winning their approval. It's about setting boundaries. It's about taking back your power." My fingers flew across the keyboard, drafting the email that would accompany the evidence packets. Short, factual, and devastatingly to the point. "Please find attached documentation regarding my financial contributions to our parents and their recent actions. Make of it what you will." Anxiety gnawed at me. What if this destroys the whole family? I pushed the thought aside. They had already destroyed my place in it. It was time to reclaim my narrative. The next morning I packed the packets, each one a carefully constructed bomb of truth. The stationery store clerk gave me a strange look as I requested dozens of certified mail labels, but I didn't care. Chloe helped me carry the box to the post office. "Are you sure about this, Ames?" she asked, her voice soft. I looked at her, my gaze unwavering. "I have to be. There's no going back now." Later, standing outside my childhood home, the air thick with the smell of barbecue, I clutched my phone, the tremor in my hands betraying the steel in my heart. The evidence had been sent. The clock was ticking. This was it. Time to face the music. I am ready. The confrontation would occur in the living room. The air inside crackled with forced cheer, the remnants of a carefully constructed facade. Mom, Dad, Sarah, and David were present, a tableau of familial bliss that felt suffocating. Initial atmosphere, strained politeness, smiles that didn't reach the eyes. I walked in, head held high. Mom rushed forward, arms outstretched. "Amelia, you came." "I did," I said, my voice flat. Sarah attempted a hug. I sidestepped it. "Hello, Sarah, David." "Amelia, darling," Mom began, her tone cloyingly sweet. "We were so worried you wouldn't make it. We want to put everything behind us." "Do you?" I asked, my gaze unwavering. Dad cleared his throat. "Now, girls, let's not start." My phone buzzed. A text from my cousin, Emily. "What is going on? Just got a crazy package from you. Call me." Mom's smile faltered. Sarah frowned. David looked confused. "What package, Amelia?" Mom asked, her voice tight. "The truth," I said simply. Sarah scoffed. "Oh, please, don't be dramatic." "Those tactics don't work on me anymore." My gaze locked onto my mother's. "Everyone knows now. The photos, the money, the manipulation." Mom's face paled. "What are you talking about? What did you do?" I sent a little reminder to everyone, I said, a hint of satisfaction creeping into my voice. Dad stepped forward, his face etched with concern. Amelia, what have you done? Expose the truth, I repeated. Something you both should have done a long time ago. Sarah, sensing the shift in power, tried a different approach. Tears welled in her eyes. How could you do this to us, to Mom, after everything she's done for you? I laughed, a short, bitter sound. Done for me? Is that what you believe? Mom dabbed at her eyes with a tissue, a practice performance. Amelia, you're hurting your father. Please think about him. I am thinking about him, I said, my voice shaking slightly, and about myself for once. David, silent until now, spoke up. This is a private family matter. Perhaps we should discuss this in private. It's already public, I said, my gaze sweeping across their faces. The damage is done. Mom's composure crumbled. Her voice rose, shrill and accusatory. You ungrateful child, after everything we've sacrificed for you. Sacrificed? I challenged, stepping closer. Or controlled? This isn't about gratitude, it's about control, and you've lost it. Dad reached out, his hand trembling. Amelia, please. I stepped back, away from his touch. This ends now. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. I'm done sacrificing my well-being for your comfort. Mom opened her mouth to speak, but I cut her off. No more, I won't be silenced, I won't be manipulated, I am done. I turned and walked towards the door, leaving them standing there, stunned and speechless. Before I stepped out, I turned back one last time. I'm taking back my life, you can't have it anymore. And then I walked away. The car ride home was a blur. My body was buzzing with adrenaline, a strange mix of exhilaration and nausea. I pulled over to the side of the road, needing to ground myself. I closed my eyes, took deep breaths, and focused on the feeling of the steering wheel in my hands. My hands were still shaking. I felt drained, emotionally and physically, as if I'd run a marathon. Part of me expected to feel relieved. Instead, I felt empty. The weight of years of suppressed emotions had finally been lifted, but the space it left behind felt vast and hollow. I finally reached my apartment. The silence was deafening. I wandered through the rooms, touching familiar objects, trying to reassure myself that this was real, that I was safe. I made a cup of tea, curled up on the couch, and stared out the window at the city lights. I replayed the confrontation in my head, analyzing every word, every expression. Had I been too harsh, too unforgiving? Should I have tried harder to reason with them? No. I knew I'd done what I had to do. Exhaustion finally pulled me under. I slept fitfully, plagued by fragmented dreams. When I woke, the sun was streaming through my window, painting the room in a warm, golden light. The weight on my chest was still there, but it felt lighter, less oppressive. I got out of bed, made coffee, and opened my laptop. Emails and texts flooded in. Some were supportive, some were confused, some were downright angry. My Aunt Carol called, her voice trembling with emotion. Amelia, what have you done? Your mother is beside herself. Aunt Carol, I sent you the documents. Did you read them? A long pause. Yes, I did, and I'm shocked. I had no idea things were so bad. Then you understand why I did what I did. I'm not sure I agree with your methods, but I can't deny what the evidence shows. Your mother has always been difficult. Difficult. I scoffed. That's an understatement. Look, Amelia, I'm not taking sides, but I think you need to give your mother time to process this. She's not going to change overnight. I'm not expecting her to change, I said. I just want her to stop lying. The conversation ended on a strained note. It was clear that Aunt Carol, like many others, was caught in the middle, torn between loyalty to her sister and a growing awareness of the truth. The rest of the day was a whirlwind of calls and texts. My father didn't call. Sarah sent a barrage of angry messages accusing me of ruining the family. I ignored them. That night I ordered takeout and watched a mindless movie. It was a temporary distraction, but it didn't fill the void. I felt adrift, unmoored from the familiar anchor of my family, unsure of where to go next. 6 weeks have passed since that day. The fallout has been complicated. Mom is furious. I am dead to her. Sarah sends the occasional guilt-tripping text, but I ignore them. My father hasn't reached out directly, but Aunt Carol tells me he's struggling. Some family members have sided with my mother, branding me as a troublemaker. Others have expressed quiet support, admitting they always suspected something was amiss. A few relatives even apologized for not speaking up sooner. I stopped sending money. It felt incredibly liberating. The most surprising development has been my great-aunt, Eleanor, my grandmother's sister. She's a sharp, no-nonsense woman in her late 80s, and she called me after receiving the packet. "Your mother always did have a flair for drama," she said, her voice raspy but firm. "Don't let her grind you down, Amelia. You did what you had to do." She has become an unexpected ally, offering a listening ear and a surprisingly modern perspective. I started seeing a therapist. It's helping me process the years of emotional baggage and develop healthier coping mechanisms. It's not a perfect resolution. The family is still fractured, and the wounds are still raw. But I'm learning to live with the uncertainty, to accept that some relationships may never be repaired. My father finally called last week. He didn't apologize for my mother's actions, but he admitted he hadn't been a good father. He asked if he could visit. I hesitated, then agreed. We met at a neutral location, a coffee shop halfway between our homes. It was awkward, stilted, but also hopeful. He seemed genuinely remorseful, and for the first time I saw him as a person, not just as an extension of my mother. We talked for hours about everything and nothing. It was a tentative start, but it was a start. We have seen each other every week since. He still cannot bring himself to confront my mother, but our relationship grows stronger each week. I've thrown myself into my work and my friendships. Chloe has been an unwavering source of support, and I've reconnected with old friends who value me for who I am, not for what I can provide. The guilt still surfaces occasionally, a nagging voice whispering that I should have tried harder, that I should have forgiven them. But then I remember the photos in the trash, the constant criticism, the blatant disregard for my feelings. And I know I made the right choice. I have learned that I am stronger than I thought. I have learned that my worth is not dependent on the approval of others. I have learned that setting boundaries is an act of self-love. I'm still healing. The scars may never fully fade, but they are a reminder of how far I've come. My current emotional state is content most days. There are still moments of sadness, of anger, of longing for the family I wish I had. But those moments are becoming fewer and farther between. I am building a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and centered on my own happiness. It is a life where my voice is heard, where my feelings are validated, and where I am loved for who I am, not for what I provide. I am at peace. I'm starting to feel like myself again, maybe for the first time. I am free. Has anyone else experienced something similar with their family? How did you cope with the aftermath? And any tips on dealing with the lingering guilt?